Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the Day in Film MiniCast. I know it's been quite some time since I've done one of these. Life gets in the way, as I'm sure you understand. But I am back and talking about a rather anticipated movie. And let's just say my opinions aren't what you might expect. But before we jump into Wicked, directed by John M. Chu, or however you say it, I have to first ask that you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I would absolutely love to debate about this movie in the comments, so if you have anything you want to say in response to what I have to say, then hell, let me know, and maybe we could argue a little. But yeah, let's jump right into it. So Wicked is a 2024 adaptation of a classic musical directed by John M. Chu, however you say his name, starring the very famous Ariana Grande and the unfortunately not as famous Cynthia Erivo, I think is how you say her name. So to start with this movie, I think it's important we mention the marketing, and specifically Cynthia and Erivo, sorry. A lot of the marketing I saw for Wicked not only didn't leave me incredibly excited for the movie, but also made me kind of hate it on principle almost. Cynthia and Erivo, months before the movie came out, had a was very passionate online about how she thought the movie should be advertised and things like that. And it sucks because I went in automatically kind of not wanting to like it, but just kind of with lower expectations, because from what I'd heard anyway, and for reference, I might have said it already, but I have not seen the musical. I've not seen the stage play Wicked. I've seen the original Wizard of Oz, and I'm quite the fan of that movie, but I have not seen the stage play, so I went in completely blind. And everything I saw about this movie made it seem like it was going to be annoying. And what I really noticed, and what a lot of people noticed too, is the color grading in this movie is awful. All the trailers made the movie look very gray and brown and flat. It looked like you were peering through a dirty sock, or maybe even piss filter from the early 2000s. Pick your poison, you know? But I went in with neutral expectations. I kind of expected not to like it, but I didn't go in wanting to hate it. This was not the case of a Madame Web or a Borderlands. You know, I went in with completely neutral expectations, and honestly, I was let down. You know, not to hammer the nail home, but I was let down. In case you haven't seen Wicked, it follows the story of one Elphaba, I'm forgetting her last name, the Wicked Witch of the West, pre-Wizard of Oz, and how she became the Wicked Witch of the West. And this is a musical. And I know a lot of what I'm about to say makes it sound like I'm very harsh on musicals, but I love musicals. One of my favorite movies of all time is a musical. So where I say this from a very passionate and loving place, because I know how good a musical can be, and this movie is unfortunately not it. And I don't know where you want to point the blame to. This could totally be just I don't like Ariana Grande's voice. This could be I don't like the instruments they used. I'm pretty sure all of these songs are probably original to the Wicked soundtrack, so it might just be I don't like how it was composed. It could be a myriad of things, but flat answer, I did not like the music in this movie. It is a musical movie and not a movie musical, so pretty much everything is a musical number. I think the longest you go without one is maybe 25, no, not even, like 12 or 15 minutes, and that's not a problem. You know, if the music's good, there's nothing I love more than a good musical that knows it's good. Great example is Sound of Music. I could watch that movie 100 times, 3 hours long, and every single number is just a banger. It's a masterpiece, right? Wicked's main problem, at least to me, concerning the music anyway, there are plenty of problems I have, is that every single song to me sounds almost the exact same. Most of the numbers in this movie involve Ariana Grande and or her boyfriend, love interest, Fierro, I think is how you say his name. And that's not a problem, you know, but to me it's a problem, you know. I don't think these songs are written very well. I think a lot of them feel really redundant and sound very samey, especially Ariana Grande's voice. I don't think this was a miscast. I think she's definitely the only person who could pull off Glinda, whatever you want to call her. I think Ariana Grande is the only person who could have pulled this character off. But it does suck that her voice, at least to me, is so irritating, and the music so often feels not thrown in, but just it doesn't feel like it's done with the right energy. And I think that's one of my biggest problems too, is that this is a movie about the Wicked Witch of the West. This is about Elphaba. This is about Cynthia and Revo's character, and so much of this movie does not have to do with her. So much of this movie feels like it's focused almost exclusively on Glinda, and I hate that. I hate that so much, because at least to me, Glinda is not a very interesting character. Ariana Grande, I mean, it's just the way she's written. She's supposed to be a kind of unlikable, egotistical, like up her own ass character, which works. It's a good foil to Elphaba's character, being a modest, working as hard as she can, very smart person. But when that contrast isn't constantly there, she just becomes very irritating. So much of this movie feels like it focuses on her because Ariana Grande is a bigger name than Cynthia, and that sucks, because I think Elphaba's character is so much more interesting, but you just get so much focus on Glinda, and I never care. I never care about anything she's doing, because her character is never expounded upon. You never really get any backstory to her character or any real character flaws or anything like that. You just kind of know that, oh, she's the perfect preppy one who everyone likes, and you're just supposed to kind of go with it from there. Whereas opposed to Elphaba, it feels a lot more like she's a real character. She has flaws, but she has a very troubled past. You can tell where she wants to go and how she's handling the adversity in her environment. It just feels like Glinda is a very flat character, which is a shame, because I think Ariana Grande is totally capable of playing an interesting character. It just sucks that the character was written so poorly. And to talk more about what Wicked does as a musical, the message it tries to send, which at least to me, I'm pretty sure it is a very racial one. For up until like about maybe not 2/3, but up until like maybe we'll say 5/8 of the movie in, Elphaba's treated horribly, and literally every single scene there's someone scowling or looking at her because she is green, and I see this as a very racial message. This feels like a very almost ham-fisted racial message. It's like it's any person of color entering a school of predominantly white people, or this could be a gay thing. It really could be anything, but I think it applies a lot more to color. And at least to me, I understand what they were doing, and the message is important, and I'm not dogging on the message or anything, but when the character swaps like she does, it feels a little mishandled. And again, the message doesn't feel, it's not bad. This is a good message, and when it works, it works really well. But they ham-fist it so much that at times you kind of forget that it's supposed to be racial, or that it's supposed to be whatever you might interpret it as, and you just kind of start to be bothered by it. I think they should have stuck to the more subtle storytelling. I really like the fact that in every scene someone gives her a dirty glance because she's green. I think that works really well. And it's a shame that they think they have to keep going and going and going and going and going with the green thing, because it just sucks. My main problem with this movie, though, and I feel like I've said that for pretty much everything I've said so far, is that this movie, you could cut out the first hour and a half of the movie and leave the key scenes in, and nothing would change. It feels like so much of this movie is just filler to be filler. Like, I understand that when you're adapting an already made story for the silver screen, you have to make sacrifices, you have to make cuts. There are whole chapters from the Harry Potter books that are not in the movie because they didn't want their movie to be 4.5 hours long. But it feels like, at least to me, it feels like Universal stretched this movie out so much, strictly and purely for the fact that they could stretch it into 2 parts. And that's a slight spoiler. On the Wicked title card, it says Wicked Part 1. And I feel so, like, just forced. I know they could fit this into one movie. This movie already has like a 2.5 hour long runtime, which is insane for how little they do with it. And I know they could trim it down, but they just don't. They don't. I guess they don't want to sacrifice the script, but the script to me is not that good. And I know I'm rambling, but I mean, hey, that's what you're here for, I hope. And frankly, I mean, I don't know if I want to drop my number already, but I'm honest to God sitting between a 3 and a 4 out of 10. This movie was incredibly disappointing to me. I did not go in expecting a masterpiece, and I got less than an average movie, which certainly sucks. To kind of wrap back on the points and try to remind myself of what I did and didn't like, I think most of the numbers are very bad. I think the story is way too full and could definitely use some trimming. I think a lot of the characters are, if not bad, just boring and kind of aimless and pointless, which I'm sure the second part will address. And that's pretty much it. I know it doesn't sound like a long list. Oh, and the color grading too. The color grading is definitely a problem because, man, it looks so ugly. But I think that's pretty much all of my problems with the movie. The reason it's not a 1 is because, admittedly, pretty much every number that Cynthia sings is very good. I can't say, I mean, there's like maybe one. The one she sings in the forest after the guy leaves her is not very good, I don't think. And to speak specifically on Elphaba's character, just a little bit more, the whole movie she goes, I want to stop being green. And they never address, well, it's not that they never address it, but they swap her interest from that to animal rights. Which would work if when she got to the wizard, it was a bit more of a struggle. It feels like her hate for her skin color is never lost. It just feels like the animals take the forefront place in her mind, and there's still so many reasons, and the animal thing feels so forced. It feels like that's so that everyone can hate the witch after she says, "Oh no, I think I like my skin color green." There's one teacher that gets arrested, and all of a sudden she's an animal rights protester, and up until she literally watches the teacher go to or get arrested, and after that, after her little stunt in the classroom, she doesn't care like at all. She's never protesting. She's never really talking about it to anyone. It just feels so hollow. It feels so almost disingenuous. I know it's a fictional character, but Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, the things there are to like in this movie is that there are a couple funny jokes. There are a couple little lines and little moments that I think are definitely of a funny nature. My theater experience is a large contributing factor to why I enjoyed this movie so much. I could tell pretty much everyone around me was having a good time, and I'd be lying if I said that good time wasn't a little infectious. The practical sets that they built for this movie look really good. I think the costume design is a little out of whack, but generally it's still pretty good. There are not the technical things, but the tangible things in this movie are, I think, overall pretty good, even if a couple things look a little cheap, or a couple areas look a little too much like Universal walk-in experiences like Mario Land. That's fine, whatever. Yeah, I don't have much more to say. I'm sorry I did not like this movie. I went in wanting to like it. I went in wanting to be surprised, and frankly, I was not. But that's where we are as a society. Again, sorry I've been gone so long. I will be back after this, at least until maybe January, but hey, we'll see. But yeah, with that all out of the way, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in Oz.